I'm Sara McCaslin with Young Living Oils Online, and tonight we're going to talk about allergies and essential oils. Okay, all right, so tonight we're going to be talking about allergies, which obviously is a major problem for many people. I personally have had allergies since I was a little kid, and when I went to the allergy doctor, they give you all those injections on your arm. Every single one of them swelled up somewhat at least. Some of them much larger than others, so much so that the allergy nurse kept going and getting other nurses to come in and look at my arm like I was some kind of a prize trophy because I had that allergies that bad. And then we moved to East Texas, the eastern part of Texas, which is supposed to be the absolute worst place to live if you have allergies. So I personally am always interested in anything that will help me treat allergies without having to use over-the-counter medications that for me have side effects like sleepiness. Now, a lot of people have found essential oils to relieve many of the symptoms of allergies. And tonight we're going to discuss the most popular blends and single oils that are used by allergy sufferers, and also discuss some different ways of using them. So the first one is the one that pops into a lot of Young Living distributors' minds when you mention allergies, and that's RC. RC is a blend of several different essential oils. One of them is myrtle, which supports the respiratory system. It also has 3 types of eucalyptus, and these work as natural decongestants. And if you're familiar with Vicks Vapor Rub, that has eucalyptus in it. That's what gives, part of what gives it that distinctive scent. So it has 3 types of eucalyptus. It has marjoram, which supports the respiratory system. And I thought this was interesting. It has pine. And usually, you think of allergies, if you're like me, you think of trees. Interestingly enough, it has pine, spruce, and cypress. Now, pine was used by Hippocrates to fight infection and support respiratory function. So the use of pine for allergies goes back many hundreds and hundreds of years. Spruce is also an essential oil that supports the respiratory system. And peppermint is considered an effective decongestant. So RC contains myrtle, eucalyptus, marjoram, pine, spruce, peppermint, and also lavender, which a lot of people call nature's first aid kit. In fact, many allergy sufferers will use lavender as a standalone treatment for allergy, but we'll get to that in a minute. And RC also contains cypress, which is a natural mucolytic. Now, I first had to type that word today. I have never typed that word before. I made a guess about what it meant. I looked it up, and basically what it does is it thins out the nasal secretions. So it's kind of works as a decongestant, but focuses more on the nasal secretions. And so that's what is in RC. Now, if you've ever used RC, you know it has a very distinctive odor. You can definitely smell the eucalyptus in it. Now, there's a lot of different ways to use RC. Basically, it can be diffused, inhaled, or applied to your skin. Now, most of the time they say when applying it to your skin, it should be diluted with 1 part carrier oil. Now, some allergy sufferers will apply it to the bridge of the nose, chest, neck, throat area, and over the sinus area also. Some people combine it with Raven, Dorado Azul, Thieves, or Eucalyptus to make a humidifier blend. And it's really easy to do this without actually having to have a humidifier. Basically, you get a bowl of steaming water. You add a few drops of the oils that you want. Definitely want RC in there. And then place the towel over your head and over the bowl and inhale the steam for a while. This has been found very useful by people. And if it's cold or flu season and you're concerned that your symptoms might be a little more than just allergy, Thieves is definitely a good way to try to nip that in the bud before it gets any worse. So that's some of the different ways of using RC. Now, another blend that I like myself is Raven. And it's got Ravenstra, which is what the people of Madagascar refer to as the oil that heals. Now, this is another one of those essential oils whose use goes back many hundreds of years. It contains lemon, which supports a healthy immune system, and wintergreen, which supports a healthy respiratory system, and also has a neat smell, much like peppermint, which is also in Raven. And again, that works as a very good decongestant. The specific type of eucalyptus that it contains is Eucalyptus radiata, which supports a healthy respiratory system. Now, in my opinion, the Eucalyptus radiata, I don't care for the smell of it, but I prefer the smell of the Eucalyptus globulus, but that's just me. So Raven is another blend that seems to work well for allergy. And this might come in handy too, because sometimes Young Living runs out of certain blends, for example RC, or they might limit how much that you can get per month. And one possible backup is Raven. Okay. All right. So like RC, it's very flexible. It can be diffused, inhaled, or applied to your skin. Now, if you are going to apply it to your skin, they recommend that it be diluted with 1 part of a carrier oil. Now, interestingly enough, it can be applied to the throat and lung area as well as to the foot VitaFlex points. And I've noticed a lot of people that are using essential oils for allergy not only apply it around where they breathe, but they also apply it to the bottom of their feet. Okay, so that's something that people do fairly commonly with Raven. Now here's another interesting tip, and this came from Young Living's website. You can add it to your bath water. Add 2 or 4 drops to hot bath water, and then you can inhale that much like a humidifier while you take a bath. Another interesting thing that people do with Raven that I imagine can also be done with RC is use it as a hot compress over their lungs, or use it as part of the raindrop technique. So this is another one of the essential oil blends that's quite flexible. And I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I had to put a picture of a Raven on the slides. Luckily it wasn't Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven that I decided to put on there. But I've only started using Raven last month along with the RC because I have pretty bad allergies and I don't want to use up all my RC before the month's over. So that's one of my methods for that. Now, as far as single oils that are used to treat allergy symptoms, one of them is rosemary. And there's a reason for this. It's one of the key ingredients in the Four Thieves Vinegar Blend and in the Modern Thieves Essential Oil Blend. So it is one of the ingredients that the Four Thieves during the plague that they were using. They were, and let me back up just a second. If you're not familiar with the thieves, what happened was many years ago during, I believe it was the Black Plague, there were a group of thieves that were able to go into the homes of people that had died of the plague and steal from their belongings or steal from the dead bodies, and these 4 thieves were not getting sick. Well, they were captured, and it turns out they were apothecaries, and in exchange for their lives, they gave the King of England, I believe it was the King of England, they gave, it might have been France. Regina, do you happen to remember?
It was England. It was.
Okay.
It was King James.
Okay, all right. So they gave, in exchange for their lives, they gave King James their recipe for the oils and herbs that they were using to protect themselves from disease. So thieves is what the modern interpretation of that blend, and rosemary is one of the ingredients that the original 4 Thieves used. So this has been found very effective for allergies. Some people say it works especially well with kids. Now, until recently, French hospitals used to diffuse rosemary to disinfect the air. Now, I did not know that. I thought that was quite interesting. Now, you'll find that a lot of people that suffer with allergies swear by rosemary. Now, it can be inhaled or applied to the skin, and it can also be taken internally. Young Living has a rosemary vitality available, and the vitality oils are the oils that are labeled for internal use. Okay, so rosemary is another one of the oils that you can use to help with your allergies, and frankincense. Now, it only makes sense that frankincense can be used for this because of its ability to support the immune system. Now, the type of frankincense to use for allergy, it doesn't have to be sacred frankincense. The one that's been found effective is regular frankincense, Boswellia cartieri. That's the one that's been found to be helpful with allergies and is also less expensive than the sacred frankincense. Now, here's a little bit about its history. It's mentioned in one of history's oldest known medical records as part of a list of 877 prescriptions and recipes. So its use for health, to support health, goes back hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Its ability to help with allergies, as I mentioned, is no doubt due to its ability to support the immune system. It can be diffused, it can be applied topically, usually 2 to 4 drops at a time. You can take it internally, or you can diffuse it as an incense. Now, if you are going to take it internally, it's recommended that you dilute it 1 drop of frankincense to 4 drops of a carrier oil. But again, this is another one of the essential oils that you can use to treat your, or to help with your allergy symptoms. Okay, now this one, I put it in the presentation and I forgot to look out how to properly pronounce it. So, my good friend and the one that got me into essential oils, Regina, do you know how to pronounce this?
I think it's copabaya. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I've had to use it actually for my dentist. My dentist recommended it before when I did a root canal. So.
Oh, how interesting. Well, that's another one of the oils that will allergies. And it comes from a plant that grows primarily in Brazil. That's where Young Living gets their essential oil for this particular type. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. It won't be well. I've had trouble pronouncing things all day. So, in traditional Peruvian medicine, now this is really cool, they use 3 or 4 drops of the resin combined with honey as a natural sore throat remedy. And in Brazil, it's used as an expectorant for the respiratory tract. Now, my dad had very severe COPD, and one of the things you need to do if you have COPD is try to keep from allowing the respiratory tract to get congested, okay? And so the doctors would always try to prescribe my dad an expectorant for the respiratory tract so he could, and we're talking about medical things, I don't want to be gross, but to help him cough it up, to keep it clear. Otherwise, it will turn into an infection, a respiratory infection. And I have the same problem with my sinuses. If I don't keep my sinuses clear, if I take medicine that dries it up instead of allows me to get that drainage out, then I will develop a sinus infection. Popular home remedy in Brazil for sore throats and, of all things, tonsillitis. Now, Regina, you mentioned your dentist had you using this. Was after, did you say a root canal? Okay. This essential oil also remains a popular home remedy in Brazil for sore throats and tonsillitis. And it can be diffused, inhaled directly, or even added to food. There is a Vitality bottle of this that you can get that's labeled for internal use. So this is another one of those that is a popular essential oil among allergy sufferers.
What the dentist made me do was to use that oil along with others to help fight for my immune system. Instead of the real heavy antibiotics, she made me use that oil along with several other ones, and also inner defense, so my immune system could fight off any infections from the root canal.
How interesting. Okay. All right. So probably it is one of those essential oils that supports a healthy immune system. And you know, a lot of these oils that we're talking about this evening, if you look in the older books, you'll see some of the words that are the red light words that we're not supposed to use when we're talking about essential oils, like antiviral, antiseptic, antibacterial, those type of things. So there's a lot of potential in these oils for what they can do beyond just allergies. It's using this to support the immune system. Well, lavender is kind of the oil that works for just about anything. Very popular among essential oil users. It's another one that allergy sufferers love. Now, one of the nice things about lavender, it's one of the most gentle of all essential oils, and you can use it on your skin without even having to dilute it. And it's used a lot on kids. Some people will take a drop of lavender and swipe it inside their cheeks, or actually right inside their nose with a Q-tip. And it can also be inhaled directly, infused, I'm sorry, that should be diffused and not infused, applied topically, and even ingested. And this is one of those allergy symptom essential oils that a lot of people will apply to the bottom of their feet for effectiveness, and that probably ties in with the VitaFlex points that I mentioned earlier. So as far as applying it topically, the bottom of the feet seems to be a good place for that. All right, so this is another one of the standalone essential oils that people use that have severe allergies. Some people have found this to be effective with allergies related to cats also. Okay, now here's the problem. It's one thing to run around the house smelling like eucalyptus and pine, but quite another thing to go out in public smelling like eucalyptus and pine, okay? So that can be a problem, and if you want to diffuse an essential oil to treat your allergies, you might find your office mates or families don't necessarily appreciate the scent. They might not like going around smelling what smells like Vicks in the house all the time. And another problem is if you have pets. When you diffuse essential oils, it not only is absorbed by your body, but it can also be absorbed by your pets. And I have a cat named Xena, and so that's something I have to think about. Cats, it seems, are sensitive to some of the citrus oils, and so I have to be careful what all I expose my cat to when I diffuse. And I'm probably err on the side of being too cautious when it comes to my pet. But one way around this is to put a few drops of the oils on a handkerchief and then just keep it in your pocket or in your purse and inhale the scent as needed. That works well for me with my cat. I even have my handkerchief here. The only problem I ran into is my cat found my handkerchief one day, and it was partly unfolded, and I went in there and she's laying on it taking a bath. And my handkerchief was wet. So you might want to keep an eye about your pets when it comes to these. There are certain essential oils they seem to really go for the smell of. And what you can do is just put your oils on a handkerchief like this. Now, if you're a guy, of course, you're going to have a manly-looking handkerchief and not one with the little lace on it, but that works well. Another thing that some people do is take a few cotton balls and put a couple of drops of the oil on the cotton balls and put them in a Ziploc bag or even in a plastic pill bottle and just have it in your purse or in your desk, and then you just open it up as needed. Now, you might want to, if you're at work, you might want to explain to people what you're doing when you open up a bottle and sniff out of it, because that could look very strange very quickly. But that's one of the possibilities. And there's also small battery-powered diffusers that maybe run off just a couple of AA batteries that are for use in small spaces. And that might be another option. Now, what I do myself, like I said, I try to just use the RC at night, and then during the day I put Raven and Eucalyptus globulus, which is not in the Raven, but I like the way that it smells, and it is considered a decongestant, and either some peppermint or some wintergreen on my napkin, and then as needed, I just hold my napkin up and inhale, and it's helped me a lot with my allergies during the day and also at night. And Regina, you're probably noticing a difference in me doing this presentation where I'm not having allergies quite as bad as I did, say, a couple of months ago. So I've been trying to make more of a practice of using the essential oils during the day to try to keep my allergies under control. So the ones I use, again, are primarily the RC and the Raven, and also I'm starting to use the one that I couldn't pronounce, Regina, this COPDIVA. Yeah, that one. And I'm finding that it really is helping me with my allergies. And I used to get sinus infections every couple of months at different times in my life, and so this has been a big help to me. And like I said, if it was just me, I would diffuse it all day long, but because of my cat, I don't want to overexpose her to stuff. So uh, though it might not hurt her, I just, don't want to overexpose the little cat. So if you have kids, a lot of parents will use the lavender to treat the allergies because that's the most gentle, it seems, of all the essential oils. And as far as my sources, the information I got for this presentation, a part of it came from Healing Oils of the Bible by Dr. David Stewart. The Essential Oils Pocket Reference, mine is the 6th edition. And also, I went on oils testimonials, and there were a total of, I think, 3,300 plus testimonials regarding the use of oils and allergies. And it looked like most of them were referring to RC, lavender, and peppermint. That's what most of those were referring to. So, any questions or comments or testimonials?
The RC also is very good during cold season. I have a son that's in school, and so we can always expect when they first start school that they're going to bring home some curious uh, flus and colds and coughs that are not allergy related. And what works best is the RC and peppermint. Using those two in the hands and cupping them over your nose and your mouth, and just literally, breathing in the oils really helps. First of all, with the cough, the congestion, and also for potential infection. It keeps infection from starting. And my husband really struggles with both the colds and allergies, and he was not on the oils at all. He was one of the ones that hated the smell of them, but guess what? He's a believer now. And during the cold season, he's got his RC and peppermint right by the bed. So does my son, and so do I. And but the thing is, you do have to take it, kind of like medicine. You have to do it every few hours in the
Yeah.
midst of the worst part of the cough or cold or symptoms. Then you'll finally see a relief. And it does help. You got to understand it helps to get your system back into balance. That's what these oils do. It's not just something that just makes you um, cures the symptoms. It actually helps get your body back into balance to fight off the diseases.